Hey guys, it's the Casual Woodsman one more time. So I decided to do just a quick video. I know I haven't uploaded anything in a while, but my primary camera is out for repair, so today's video is going to be a little less quality, unfortunately, and I'm shooting on my cell phone today, so bear with me on that. But just recently took advantage of an Amazon credit that I had, and since I couldn't find the right item that I was going to buy originally, it's been sold out, I decided to get something else instead. So this is where we are today. So what I've ordered is something that I've been hearing a lot of these outdoor channels have really good reviews about, and that is the Condor Moonshiner knife. Now the knife itself is supposed to be a really good outdoors kind of field camp knife. It's very much different from what I normally tend to get, which is more of a survival or tactical combat type knives. This is more of a bush knife than anything I've ever had before. But I decided let's do a quick unboxing. So I had already started to open this box. I'll just finish opening it up, and we'll see just kind of where. Let's just see what's in here. Okay, so first impressions, the box is big. I don't know why it's so big, but a bunch of packing. And of course, this is the actual knife box. Let me get rid of this stuff. Alright, so we're outdoors in my workbench, so it's been raining and dusty and stuff, so please excuse the muddiness on here. I haven't wiped it down all the way. Here's the box, Condor tool and knife. You know, pretty good packaging, handmade in El Salvador. People, who cares what it says on here? I don't know if you can get a close-up of that here. That is the just the model number, made in El Salvador. And on the other side, it just says Condor tool and knife and the address in Santa Ana, El Salvador. So, pretty straightforward box. Now, let's see what's inside. Keep in mind, this is the first time I'm opening this, so what you're seeing right now is my legitimate first impressions on all of this. But so far, I'm impressed. If you keep up with my channel, you guys know that I'm a big fan of Ontario knives, and this is basically how they come packaged, so I'm already impressed with it. First thing here on the top is this leather sheath. Actually a really nice sheath. This is really nice. It seems like it's oil tan leather, and by the smell it kind of smells like oil tan leather. Nicely finished here on the edge. Rivets here on some of the stress points. Very nice and even stitching. The leather itself looks like it's really good quality, so I'm already impressed with the leather. This is a dangler on a swivel. Here it's a single rivet just kind of pinned to the side of this. Same kind of leather as the rest of the sheath. Very nice. The thing that impresses me right away is that the leather is really thick and sturdy, but it feels supple. There's some other leather cases, other leather sheaths that I've had, where the leather feels, I guess, kind of crunchy almost, where if you squeeze on it, if you bend it, it almost feels like it'll break. This one does not feel that way, so I'm pretty impressed on that right away. Close up here on the front of the sheath, there's the Condor logo on that, and on the back of it, it just says El Salvador here, stamped, embossed on the leather. So pretty good sheath overall. I will probably be modifying this. Those of you that keep up with my channel know that I'm left-handed, so more than likely what I'll do is I'll get rid of this belt loop on this side, remove the rivet, and somehow modify it, move it over to this side, or modify it to where I have something else on this side. But that's something that I'll look at doing later on. Anyway, enough about the sheath. Let's talk about the actual knife. So inside the box is the knife. A couple of little things. Just a little PSA on carbon steel. Carbon steel will rust if not properly maintained, so Just some PSA information for those that maybe haven't owned any carbon steel blades, and I guess their product catalog also comes in here. So let's close the box back up and let's talk about the knife. So it comes wrapped in plastic, covered in oil, so I'll have to probably clean this off. The entire blade is covered in oil, just off of the just out of the box. Again, that's something that I'll probably be cleaning up. Okay, so first impressions on this. This is actually a really big knife. Those that are familiar with some of the American models like the Becker BK9, this is actually really close in size to a Becker BK9. The overall style and aesthetics of it is something that I actually really like. It's actually a pretty nice looking knife. It doesn't have any weird angles, weird funky grinds, any kind of gimmicky looks. It's just a straight ahead, flat, almost machete-like knife, but it's cut really nice. Here on the top you do have a false edge. It's not sharpened. It's actually pretty flat until about maybe right around here, and then it's just point, but it's not, again, it's not sharp. And the secondary edge here, really coarsely ground. You can tell that maybe they did a belt grinding on this. Very much reminiscent of a machete. It does feel like it's a convex grind, and it feels sharp. So we'll do a paper test on that here in a second, but my overall first impressions of the knife so far are pretty good. Nice and thick spine. It's maybe about 5/16 thick. Sorry, not 5/16. Yeah, it looks maybe about 3/16 thick over here, and it doesn't. I mean, it feels nice and robust. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. Somewhat heavy, according to the product specs. It's just over a pound heavy, but it doesn't feel that way. I know some knives, when you have them in your hand and you're trying to manipulate them and maneuver them, they feel heavy. This one does not. So very well balanced. Balances is maybe just forward of the handle. So there's your balance point right there. The handle itself is something that looks like walnut. It could be walnut, it could be something else Central American, but I'm guessing it's walnut. And they're permanently pinned onto the full tang. It is a full tang knife all the way back. 3 rivets pinned all the way through permanently, and a hollow tube rivet that's used as a lanyard hole. So there's your handle right there. Big handle. I know some people, like for example Bush Radical has done a lot of reviews on the Condor Moonshiner, and his biggest complaint was the handle was too big. There was too much left over, so you didn't really lock in. I don't really think that's an issue for me, but again, we'll see once I start using this out in the woods how that feels. It actually feels really comfortable for me. I don't mind. His other complaint was that the cutting edge was too far from your finger over here. I've never really had that issue. I tend to just work around it, so we'll see how that is. The other thing I've noticed here is the maker's mark on the blade is now laser etched right here, Condor El Salvador, instead of roll stamped the way some of the older ones were. And there's nothing on the other side. Some of the older ones used to say El Salvador here on the other side, also roll stamped, but this one does not have it. Fit and finish. The fit and finish is I'm gonna say it's about 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 I say because number one, this secondary bevel here, it does look rough. It looks like it was belt ground to that and then just left like that. So it's not smooth or polished at all. The blade itself looks pretty good. It's not a high polish. It's like a brushed finish. So it does look shiny and clean silver, but it's not a mirror polish. Now the other thing that I'm noticing right here is on the handle scales, you can kind of tell that they were pinned on and then contoured and shaped in place. A lot of the mill marks and a lot of the grind marks actually cross over from the metal to the wood and then back over again on the other side. So this is probably shaped and polished when the scales are already pinned on. But if you look really closely, one of the handle scales is actually thicker on one side than the other, but it seems to be only in this area, which means they probably didn't sand it evenly. The rest of that handle scale, the rest of that handle looks pretty good though, so they did a really good job as far as the fit and finish on the rest of it. Just little areas like that where it's kind of uneven on each side. I'm not noticing anything else. The wood scales feel like they're right even with the rest of the tang of that knife. I know some people have complained about the wood scales being a little shy of the tang, but I think that just may happen when they've shrunk, either being in storage or during shipping or something, but these don't seem to have done that yet. So the other thing on the fit and finish is that it feels like a couple of these pins weren't ground and polished all the way flush with the wood, so a couple of these actually catch your finger just a little bit. Again, not too big a deal. On this side they're actually all pretty flush and even, so it's just on this side. Again, that's something that honestly is nitpicky, and it's not going to affect the functionality or the quality of the knife in any way. It's just, you know, just fit and finish. But again, I'll say that I'm relatively impressed with the quality of the knife so far. And since we're here, let's use this PSA on carbon blades, which obviously I don't need. And we'll see how sharp it is. We'll do a quick paper test. So right out of the box, it's actually pretty sharp. I mean, we're just push cutting here through paper. So again, it's pretty nicely sharp. And this is that really flimsy kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. It's thinner than copier paper, so obviously that's going to be harder to push cut through it. So overall, the sharpness is really good. Nice, good tip. It doesn't feel flimsy. It doesn't feel sturdy. Seems to just flip in the hand really well. And overall, I'm kind of impressed so far as first impressions. Alright guys, so this is the unboxing and first impressions for my brand new Condor Moonshiner knife. I got this one. I would have preferred the micarta handles as are found on the Condor Moonstalker knife. I do prefer micarta, but I do like the raw finish on this one as opposed to the epoxy coated black finish on the Moonstalker. I prefer this one. Other than that, they're the same knife, but this one was actually cheaper, and since, like I said, I got this on a credit with Amazon, this is the one that I could afford. But I'm actually really impressed with the knife. I do like the looks of it like this. It does look a little bit more woodsy, more kind of like a bush knife instead of tactical. The Moonstalker tends to look a little more tactical. Yeah, it's freaking hot out here, if you didn't know. By the way, those of you guys that follow me know I'm in West Texas. It's been 108 degrees out here in far West Texas. But yeah, it's been 108 degrees out here in far West Texas, and it's supposed to be hotter next week, so F that. Anyway, I'm really impressed so far. We'll see a couple months from now after I use it a little bit more how I still feel about it, but for now it's a really good knife. It's probably in the spot to be my primary field knife for a while. It's the perfect size, the perfect shape, fits in my hand really, really well. I like the balance and the weight, and we'll give it a good thrashing. We'll give it some good use. I'll get some B-roll for that, and then a couple of months from now I'll do a full review on it. But other than that, that's my first impression so far on the Condor Moonstalker knife. And for those of you guys that are thinking of maybe ordering one or checking this out, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it just based on my first impressions. The fit and finish issues, not a big deal. It's very, very minor stuff, and honestly, Condor is doing something that very few other knife manufacturers are doing. They're offering some really good quality, really sturdy user knives at really, really cheap prices. So guys, for something that inexpensive, I think this particular knife was sub $70 on Amazon. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate in recommending something like this for somebody looking to start off. Condor has some really good stuff. 1075 steel, I don't know if I covered that or not yet. I suspect it's very similar in properties to 1095, which I'm very, very familiar with. But 1075 steel, it is a high carbon steel. I don't know the specific HRC, the specific Rockwell hardness that they temper this to, but I'm guessing it's in the mid 50s. And yeah, it should be a nice beater, a nice user knife. So having said all that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed my unboxing and first impressions of the Condor Moonshiner knife. Stay tuned. Keep your eye out for the floor review coming up, hopefully in a couple more months once I use it for a little bit. And we'll revisit this knife again in the future, I'm pretty sure. Well, after all that, guys, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching the video. This is the Casual Woodsman. Until next time, see you guys later.